give us the Spanish, but we're doing Jeremiah 1, 4 to 10, and here's really the focus of that. This section where it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Well, this morning, we had, of course, the gift of Tita in performing Where You Are from Moana. And it's a song about community and tradition. And as always, when they come, I like tying the whole service, as you can tell, and the message into their songs. That's what we're doing today. So the song about community and tradition. It's a song about finding meaning in a place we call home. Even if that place is something you gotta go back to, right? The place you call home. Moana is told that everything she needs is right where she is. That she doesn't have to look beyond the horizons for purpose. Your purpose is right here, right now. And it's a beautiful message. But yet, Moana still has something stirring inside of her. Something is restless. Something is calling her beyond the reef. And this is the tension where we all live. We want the comfort of what is familiar. But there's a whisper, a nudge that tells us that there's something more. And Jeremiah the prophet, today's scripture reading, felt this too. Called by the divine at a very young age, Jeremiah resisted at first, saying, "I'm just a child. I'm not ready." But the voice calling him said, "I have known you since before you were born. I've already planted a purpose inside of you." And that's the challenge. Are we supposed to stay where we are? Or is there something greater? And how do we know the difference? In Moana, the chief tells her it's the island that gives us what we need. And that's often true. It's the place where we come from. It's the place where we have families and churches and communities. It grounds us. They provide wisdom in history. And there's nothing wrong, of course, with loving where we are, with honoring those traditions that have been passed down to us. Traditions that give us roots. Our homes, whether physical or spiritual, shape our identity. They are where we first learn to love, to belong, learn responsibility. They offer us security, familiarity, and a sense of continuity. In a world that so often changes so fast, it's these traditions that provide an anchor for us. They remind us of who we are and where we come from. They connect us with the generations before us, and they help us pass on the values to those who will come after. Faith, too, of course, has its traditions. We inherit prayers and songs and sacred texts. We inherit a way of seeing the world that shapes us. And these things remind us of where we belong, and remind us that we're a part of something bigger than ourselves. Our ancestors whisper to us these traditions. As we sit here and we oftentimes say the same prayers and sing the same hymns and carry on the same faith traditions that they've done long before us in this building. But tradition is more than just repetition. It's the embodiment of love and memory, a sacred trust passed down through time. And it's the stories we tell in our own families around the dinner table. The rituals we observe in the time of celebration and sorrow. It's the quiet comfort of knowing some things remain steady, even as life continues to move forward. And yet, with all this, Moana still sees the waves. She feels them pulling her. A sense that she was meant for something beyond what she already knows. Now, the elders tell her to stay put. But her grandma, if you remember watching the movie, the one who dances with the ocean, she whispers up to Moana, maybe you were meant for something more. There's something in Moana's heart that just won't rest. It's a longing. It's a deep knowing that she was not made to stay within the limits of this island. She loves her home. She respects her people. But the call of the horizon is undeniable. Many of us know this feeling. I bet as we've been talking, you've been thinking in your own mind, one side of this conversation or the other, how much you love being rooted or how you're feeling called to something else. We know this tension. We may not have an ocean stretching in front of us like Moana, but we can feel those currents of restlessness inside of us. It's a quiet voice that tells us there is something beyond our familiar routine. It's the dream that we just won't let go. It's the curiosity that continues to pull us forward each and every day. We may resist. We may tell ourselves to just be satisfied with what we have. But deep down, we know that growth always requires movement. Jeremiah also felt this restlessness when he was called, he resisted. I'm not ready, I don't have the words. Don't call me, call someone else. But the Holy One responded, don't say I'm only a child. Don't say I don't have the words. You must go where I send you. And like Moana, Jeremiah stood at the edge of the unknown that lays before him, afraid to take the next step. He doubted himself. He doubted his abilities. But God's call turned out to be stronger than his own fears. The same call echoes in each and every one of our lives, asking us to trust, to step forward, even when we don't feel ready to step forward. How often do we feel this pull, this tension between what is safe and what is possible? Between staying where we are and stepping into the unknown. The holy moves in both places. The comfort of home and the courage to venture on to something new. Stepping out is scary. Moana's father tried that once and he failed. And that fear, though, made him warn Moana against doing the same thing. Don't even try. Great advice from a parent. Don't even try. Just settle like I did. He tasted this thing of loss, the weight of the regret upon him. And he wanted to protect his daughter from that same fate. But in his effort to shield her, he was also limiting her. His fear became boundaries around what is possible. A cautionary tale kept her tethered to the shore. Bet you wanted Katerina to take an online class from home, right? You don't want her to go away. Stay at the island. Stay at the island. So often our fear is not just a fear of failure, though. It's also a fear of disappointing others. There are those others who have invested in us. We don't just carry our own hopes, we're also carrying their hopes in us. We have expectations of our parents, expectations of mentors, expectations of the community in which we exist, and we wonder, if we step out, what if I don't make it? Not only will I disappoint myself, I'm going to disappoint them. What if I don't belong wherever it is I'm going? It's easier just to stay here where I know I'm accepted, where the roles are familiar and fewer risks are taken. But something within us knows that safety is not the same as fulfillment. The longing to explore, to grow, to discover beyond the horizon, that feeling inside doesn't go away. Just because we try to silence it, that feeling to want to go does not go away. We can ignore it for a period of time, but eventually that feeling keeps resurfacing and emerging within us. We have this desire to live fully, to answer a call that's been placed deep in our soul. And sooner or later, that calling becomes stronger than our fear, if we allow it. And faith is not the absence of fear. Faith is always stepping out in the presence of fear. If we have faith, we step out despite our fears. The Spirit's voice doesn't always lead us to easy places either. It leads us to real ones, honest ones, and often difficult places. Moana's journey is not just a journey about adventure. She's not just going on an adventure. She's uncovering a truth, a deep truth within herself. She steps out finally beyond the reef, braving the unknown, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing against her. The oceans test her. The oceans humble her. But it also reveals something profound. She realizes she was never lost. She was never without purpose. She was never meant to stay still. When she discovers a hidden history of her ancestors, things begin to shift within her, realizing like a wave crashing upon her own soul. Her restlessness was never a flaw. She was never being rebellious from the community. It was not a sign that she didn't belong. It was simply a remembrance. She comes to see that the longing that she carried in her very bones was not a rejection of her home. She wasn't going out beyond the reef because she rejected her home. But it was a call back to her truest identity. Her people were voyagers. They were explorers. They were wayfinders. They were never meant to remain confined on that single shoreline. Their legacy had always been movement, discovery, and courage. And this revelation doesn't erase Moana's fears, but it does do something even more powerful. It reshapes her fears. She realizes she's not an outcast. She's not alone in her yearning beyond the reef. She's connected and woven into the fabric of that greater story of the island and beyond the reef. The call to step forward is not a departure from where she's from. That stepping forward is honoring where she's from. It's in finding her path forward. She's not forsaking the people. She's fulfilling a dream that wants to find the entire people. Jeremiah also came to the same understanding. When the call first came to him, he was overwhelmed. And like Moana's father, he was afraid to step beyond the unknown, afraid of the weight of expectations from others, afraid of failure. But the divine did not set limitations. The divine only gave potential. Being called doesn't mean abandoning everything that has ever shaped us. It's not a rejection of our past. It's not a rejection of our family, rejection of the traditions that formed us. Instead, it's a deeper embrace of who we've always been. In this moment, when all the pieces come together, the longing, the struggle, the searching, we realize that we were never leading away from something, but pulling us back to our truest identity of who we are, honoring who we are deep within, that we've been hiding from others. The holy does not call us into the place where we don't belong. The call is always an invitation to become who we truly are. It's a reminder that within us there's already everything we need. We were made for this moment. We were always meant to find our way. So where are you in this story today? Are you in a place of comfort, where everything feels secure? That's a gift. Honor. This sermon is not saying that you need to go out beyond the reef. If that's where you are in life, oh my gosh, that's wonderful. There's a beauty in that stability, in knowing where you belong, in feeling held by the familiar. It's not wrong to stay where you are. It's not wrong to stay in a place that nourishes your soul. Some seasons are meant for resting, for being deeply rooted, for cherishing the ground beneath your feet. And if this is where you are, give thanks. Breathe in the goodness of that moment. There may be some of you, I'm assuming maybe some of the younger ones, especially over here, may be feeling restless, a sense for something more. Katarina's feeling it right now. That too is a gift. Listen to it. There's a reason that stirring within will not go away. A reason the horizon keeps calling your name. It's not a sign that you're ungrateful. It's not proof that you don't belong where you are now. It's simply the whisper of something greater, nudging you forward. The holy does not plant longings in us for no reason at all. If you feel pulled, then don't ignore it. God is calling you somewhere, a path that only you can walk. Perhaps you right now are standing at the edge. Perhaps you're in that moment in life where you're staring into the unknown, whatever that may be, afraid to take the next step. This is the moment where courage meets faith. This is where you hold both fear and faith in the same trembling hands, trying to decide which voice you're going to follow. It's okay to be afraid. Fear doesn't mean that you are unworthy or incapable. It only means that you're standing at the threshold of something that really matters. Trust that if you've been called, then God has also equipped you. In the divine places, God brings you. In the roots and in the wings. In the island and at the horizon. In the safety of our home and in the courage to set sail beyond the reef. God doesn't abandon us for choosing to stay. And God doesn't forsake us for deciding to leave. Wherever you are, the Holy One is already there. You are called, you are known, and you are not alone. And wherever you are, it's a beautiful place. But maybe, just maybe, you are meant to go beyond the reef. Amen. Amen. Gracious and loving God, we are here in a congregation whose original roots are in downtown Windermere in a small church on the square. Lots of people from this church, lots of traditions that have firmly rooted us.